So Lit Mobile just sent.
Good morning, guys. Let me turn down my air filter. I'm watching GSX. The volume isn't climbing, but it's creating an exponential move here. And you can tell it's kind of dirty with all these little red candles, but look at it. Look at it climb like that. Now I'm waiting for the volume to rise. So right now this is, the look that I'm look. If you look at the 15s, is ridiculous. It just hasn't had a single red candle yet. And red, the 5 minutes looks awesome. The 5 minute um, chart. I'm trying to dumb it down so make sure everyone understands what I'm talking about here. Okay. All right, so there was quite a few good trades being done on the Discord app. Double dip caught Kron, which I was looking at, but couldn't find an entry. There is the, here it is right here. It didn't quite hit 32, and it's already past the 1 minute. Crap. I may want to enter a little bit here. But the volume isn't quite there. So I just don't have the conviction to enter because of the volume. And the fact that it hasn't hit 32 yet. So the last thing you want is for it to enter here. For me, that is, okay, is for it to reset and then climb back up. But like I said, it has that shape and crap. Look at that in the ones. Looks like it kind of already went without me. Oh, that sucks. Ah, damn it. All right. Well, this has almost all the. I mean, look at the daily here. This is what also makes it kind of dangerous that it climbs up, and this could be possibly a good swing if you get the trigger. And right now is dojing on the 15 minute. But better safe than sorry. Sometimes the spread on this thing, if you take a look at the spread between the level 2s, is pretty high. Right now it's 7 cents, but I think I've seen it up to 15 cents. I mean, if you look at the fives, it just triggered on fives. If you want a reason to enter at that time, but looking at this right here, uh, and 31.96, I just can't do it. If you do trade smaller, right now it's almost 50 cents away from the high, and That can be a lot if you put in an average amount of shares. Let's see. Morning, Maud. Um, well, for the past week and two, I just started last week, and I think I've been on every day. But yeah, I don't get on until I find something. Um, Sometimes I wake up later, just because I'm trying to focus on the counter trends for my friends and stay away from the riskier ones that I may do. And if I do the riskier ones, I don't really want to be streaming it because I need to focus. I'm not a morning person. But if you guys really, well, I should just put a little poll up on YouTube to see what people think. But I could just leave it on the stream, leave the stream on, just so you guys can use my trade ideas to see what you guys think of it. And you can just use that on your own, and then I'll just come on whenever I actually make it here. Personally, I would actually be still asleep if it wasn't for my trade ideas. The lady was just shouting out numbers because I forgot to turn on the volume. So I just woke up with this lady just yelling in a robotic voice, AMD, PDD. Hey, morning, Lindsay. So yeah, um, if you guys haven't looked, GSX just looked really good. Right now, this is the daily. The daily is exponential, and then on the 15s, it hasn't created a single red candle. But the problem is the volume here. I just can't get past how the volume is so steady. So, and then it was until recently, like from here, if I back up on the on the chart, it was more linear than it was exponential like this. But then it started spiking up, and that's when Jeremy Newby said that GSX ripping, and then after he called that, people started shorting it. So let's see what happens here. Right now, it can go either way because it kind of touched this area where this red candle was previously on the 1 minute. It may consolidate and actually come back up for that 32 mark. I'm not sure. Let's see what it did in the daily. Let's look at the 15s. Well, let's see what it did on the 31s at the 31 area in 1 minute. So yeah, like right here, this was a fake out at the highs at 89, came back down, one at 31. Once it hit 31, it came back down again. Faked people out, and it kept climbing up. So this one is kind of tricky. But this was a pretty convincing move, but without any signal with the volume. At least I can't see it because actually, well, there's a little bit. I don't know. Not enough for me to enter, obviously. Hey, morning luck. Congratulations on Kron. You guys want to see? Let me get back on GSX in a bit. Let's put on a different chart. Okay. Double dip in Kron entered. Double dip in Lock entered Kron for a short. Was it a short or was it a long? I think can't remember now. Let me double check what. Covered 2761. 2761. No, that's not Kron. Kron's working. Okay. Double dip actually went long. I think. Okay. Here he goes. He said he scalped Kron earlier, I think for 10 cents. Hey, Neil. Tesla? Sure thing. But one second, let me just see what's going on with GSX here. So for some people, a lot of people do pullbacks. This will definitely be a pullback, and then wait for it to trickle down and create a bull flag for a breakout. So here will be a breakout possibly after a few minutes, but it looks like, oh. All right, let's look at Tesla. Can you look? Anil asks, can you look at Tesla stock and its possibilities were bearish, bullish? Well, Anil, are you asking him for a swing trade or intra trade daily? Let's see why. Oh, Morgan Stanley raises target to 360. Let's do it, China. Yeah, it's probably China related. Well, I don't, just because the way Tesla's been acting, this is a weekly chart. That's why it's still green here. But yeah, it's a, it doesn't look good. Let's see. Intraday, within the day, I would say it's going to go down. Here's a 5-minute chart, and the wedge kind of looks like it may want to go up a little bit, but it's not looking promising. This may actually be a good time to enter if you're going to swing trade it or do short term, because I don't bet against Elon Musk. Yeah, so GSX really did go against me here. I mean, not go against me, but went without me. Here's the 15, and it created its very first huge 15-minute candle. Look at that. Okay, so I'm wrong about it wanting 32. It was just the fact that it went up so high and didn't have a single pullback for what, 5 or 6 green candles. It just had to drop, regardless of the amount of volume, I guess. Just gonna scan around, looking at my trade idea scanners, see what's going on. Yeah, NK is having a really good day with a high of 971. Definitely some news catalyzing this with a lot of volume. And it's cheap. If you look at the daily here, it just blew up. This one can get a little scary if you're thinking about shorting it. Because it's news, it's got to be catalyzed by news. What's going on, Alex? A few years ago, you were one of the people that inspired me to dig deeper into trading. Our styles are very different now, but I wanted to thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Alex. Yeah, whatever works for you. It really depends on your personality. For some people, it's dependent. It's dependent on the amount of time you have during the day. If you're using it as, um, I know Locke spoke about how he works, so the he's most available to trade in the mornings. So that gets a lot of people into that niche of gap trading. And if as long as you have the stomach for it, all power to you. It's just not my thing. But I'm glad I could help, Alex. If anything, yeah. I mean, if I was able to convince you that counter trading isn't a gamble, then I'm pretty sure you can assume you can you can conclude that trading actually is a possible um, source of income and not a gamble, right? Yeah, Locke only has 30 minutes. That sucks. But if you can just watch and see what's going on, um, you may have time elsewhere. I used to trade during lunch, which is probably the worst time to trade because everyone's gone. But the thing about the lunchtime trades is algorithms take over, right? Computers take over. And sometimes computers are short-sighted and then creates that ramp, kind of like GSX. I don't know how many people were actually looking at it when it created that exponential move because if you look at the volume, this is a 5 minute by the way. Okay, if you look at the volume, it's most of it's under 10,000. Well, under 20,000. And that's, that doesn't say much. But a lot of being Asian and all, and having uh, you know, tiger moms. We all are forced to go to college and go into finance or accounting, wherever the money is at, right? And and all of my friends that will tell me that their professors in finance and accounting will tell them that day trading and trading in general, other than long term, doesn't work, and it's actually a pure gamble, and there is no evidence that shows that um, trading has any room in that area in that kind of profession. Which is really strange because I know plenty of professional day traders. I mean, when I say professionals, that work for hedge funds, and they're just like me. We collaborate, and we're always trading and going green. There's a gentleman named Michael S. Jenkins. He got me into the idea of forecasting with more of a back tested strategy. I'll send you a private video of my personal strategy I developed over the years. Just keep it private though. All right, cool. Thanks. Forecasting. Okay. I guess forecasting and day trading would possibly be in relation to looking at swing trades and then figuring out what could possibly work well with intradays using looking at daily charts. Is that possible? Is that what you mean, Alex? That is how I got into day trading because my dad taught me how to swing trade in high school. And then from there, I would always look at the intraday and say, why don't we just trade inside instead of just wait? Because, when you're in high school, you don't have that kind of patience. You're just sitting there like bored as hell, wondering why your dad is trying to make you do all the boring stuff. But, I'm thankful at the end. Morning, Smear. Yeah, GSX looks like it went without me. Bear thinks that huge cliff Tesla is building for itself. Today's move will be big, whatever direction it ends up. So I'm on this. If you want, if I'm actually in a trade, most likely I'll have time to type in to this to this Discord chat room, newbie trading. So I'll put a link. I'll send you all a link if you're not in it. I suggest you get in on it to take a look at Jeremy Newbie's trades. There's a few other like Bear and Double Dip that contribute quite a bit, and they have a lot of good things to say. Um, the advantage of being in this chat room is you don't have to fill up a screen. You could use your phone, and uh, and this is generally a lot faster than YouTube stream. YouTube stream has over a 20-second delay. So when I say I'm in something, well, not that I want you to follow me anyways, but it's going to be 20 seconds late unless you're on the Discord app. I don't. For those of y'all who are just learning, paper trading works only if you know how to paper trade correctly. Um, because a lot of people just throw in numbers and then eventually are convinced that it'll work. But you need to be able to put in how many shares and then know exactly how much you're risking and be technical about it. Not just like slapping, I'll just do 1,000 shares here. Okay, I'm a millionaire on paper. I know all of us do that in the very beginning. So let me find that. Here's the link. Newbie Trading. The admin is Jeremy Newbie. He trades very similar to me. We're almost identical. We're like brothers in trading. We tend to focus on those counter trends, and he also does swing trades, and he's very successful. Hey, morning, OJ. Yeah, yeah. Check his Discord. OJ's another one of the guys that are pretty active on the Discord. Okay, let's see what NK happened to do. Yeah, it's just kind of curling down a bit. GSX is in that area where it may stop and start climbing again. Alex says forecasting means at certain points in price or time you would expect a reaction. Oh yeah, but that's very generalized, Alex. You really know how to lure me in. But like support and resistance is a way of forecasting. The VWAP, any study will help you forecast movement and to expect a reaction. So, but I'm not trying to downplay your response. I'm just saying you probably have something very interesting to share with me. I look forward to it. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, if you could, Alex, get on the Discord and PM me whenever you make that video. In fact, if that's something I don't really trade with you. I'm a trade share with you guys. Good morning, OJ. I'm grateful I can help. Um, I do have people in the past just email me uh, a private or unlisted video of their YouTube on YouTube of their trades. So instead of like talking me through it, they actually show me what they're doing, and that way I can actually contribute my thoughts and be more helpful. One of the guys was Anthony Kingslick. He posts this publicly, and he does pretty good. Yeah, look how NK is really holding up there. Look at the daily. That's just a crazy move. So I feel sorry for whoever tried to short it here. Let's say they saw that exponential move and the ramp in volume, and they shorted it here on a 1 minute trigger, and it only went down. Well, it went down about 20, 30 cents, and then it climbed back up. So there's definitely good scalps here, but if you're greedy, then you're kind of screwed. Lockhouse, are you going to help Jay Newbie with his trading course? I don't know, Jeremy. Am I? I don't know. Um, I have asked him if he wanted to collab with something, but I'm sure I can help him um, gather our thoughts and create a good outline on how to teach it. I don't think he needs me. I mean, I think he kind of figured it all out already. But we'll see. I'll be glad to help. I only trade stocks. I don't do options. Options are cool. I've always thought I'll just do options later. After when I was starting out, I was thinking I'll just perfect options. I mean, after I perfect stocks, I'll do options. But you just kind of stick with what you know, and then I just get tunneled into what I'm good at. It's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like baseball and basketball. They're both games that involve a ball. But if you're really good at baseball, then you don't really switch over to basketball or vice versa, like like Michael Jordan. If you do, please do live trade examples, and I think you would be good to collab with. You explain things. Thanks, Locke. I try to. I'm glad that yeah, your feedback is really important to me. What a few when I used to do the videos, I promised that I was going to do a beginner's course, and that was hard, man. I couldn't gather my thoughts well enough. I didn't have the questions. I couldn't remember what it was to be like a beginner. You know, how to read the level two. I know how to teach that, but then you, to teach from the very beginning, like how to read a candle, is tricky. But I always thought I'd be good at teaching it because I really dumb things down. I don't like when people start throwing me, complicated vocabulary that I only see in books. If you read the books, you'll get pretty good with the lingo. But that doesn't teach you how to trade, right? All that really does is teach you how to be pretty savvy in the world of talking about trading. In fact, they don't really teach you how to trade at all. They'll teach you continuations and patterns, but they'll never tell you what or how to utilize it, right? A book can only do so much. And then in the videos, I'm able to show you like shape, like how it would ramp up, and then you kind of have an idea that those those pictures are really nice. Or the wedges, the bear flags. But then it's up to you to decide how to enter it and how many shares and when to enter. I think those are the three most complicated things. And then the psychology of it. I don't know. One of the most complicated things that I know that I've seen traders do is they actually enjoy losing. That is something that is very comical, but it's so true. And that's where gamblers come in. Some gamblers don't mind losing, and they find the rush in losing, and they just keep losing, and they keep trading. They never learn because losing is part of the game, and to them, losing is part of the game, and they don't mind losing. And then that ends up being quite a conundrum, right? Um, it's a thing. Really a thing. Go look at NK. Is it going to break out past 971? It may touch 971 and then it's going to break through the highs. It did. It just broke the highs. There it is. And why not? Because it's at 990 Why not touch the 10 and then come back? 10 is a beautiful number. Danny Chow, you should come out with or buff Asian. And I think I'm a little too old and conservative. I have a really hard time just taking a picture of myself without a shirt on. It's just cringy, especially when you're doing it yourself. At least I gotta get my wife to do it. But she doesn't. She there was a actually it was just last year that I said, I'm gonna do a bodybuilding competition. Like the physique competition, but she won't let me. She doesn't want me on stage. She just wants to keep me to herself. So I don't foresee a workout video. Well, if I do, it's gonna be like with all my clothes on, and you can learn from all the other people on YouTube. It's saturated with workouts. I think the only difference between an Asian and black genetics, because that's a real thing, is that we're hard gainers. Our metabolism is so fast that every time we work out, we heal, and we're back to square one again. And if we work out too much, we overtrain, and then we still don't get big. So I got bigger in my 30s because my metabolism actually slowed down, and I still loved eating. And I didn't want to get fat, so then I worked out some more, and I got bigger. And that's just how it is. You just have to wait it out, or you have to really eat a lot if you're one of those hard gaining, was it ectomorph Asians? It's a blessing. Just if you're a thin Asian, just be thankful that you can eat all you want, because right now I can't eat the amount of candy I really want. It's sad. It's really sad. I can eat entire family size peanut M&M bag, but not if I want to be healthy. Typical says, when I was first starting out, I would never thought of have done options. Confusing stock trading knowledge can only help you in options. Yeah, that's true. I don't know anyone who does options first. It's always stocks first, and then they jump into options as something fun. I already lost. I already lost my passion. Trading is not my passion. And for all of y'all that are viewing right now or watching my videos, I'm pretty sure it really piques your interest in trading. That's why you're watching it, because I'm not exactly the most entertaining person to watch trade. That's for sure, especially streaming, because streaming can get so long-winded. I'm on 40 minutes now, but I digress. Yeah, this is obviously something that really interests you. To me, this doesn't interest me. What interests me is to know what you guys actually want to learn, because I can't remember what it was like to start from the very beginning. Um, so your questions actually are more interesting than trading. In fact, I tell you this much: if trading was actually interesting to me, I probably wouldn't trade as well. Honestly, this is not my area in my life where trading is something that is my passion. Dogs, teaching dogs and finding them homes, or making a super dog. I've had a few dogs actually um, have promising careers. That to me is my passion. It's like I don't know how to explain it, but dogs just animals in general is just I don't know about you guys, but dogs and animals in general are just a lot more fun to be around with than a lot of humans out there. So yeah, trading can be fun in the beginning, and then training becomes. I think Jeremy Newby actually does find a rush in trading because he's just one of those kind of people that. But I know his three things. His passion is probably his planes and his family, and trading is a source of income is one of them. And then for him, um, what keeps him healthy is probably flying as well. I'm not sure. Let me know if that I'm close to being right, Jeremy. But for me, it's arm wrestling to keep me healthy, as long as I don't break an arm. Trading used to be my form of income, but it still is kinda. And then working with dogs is my primary goal because I kind of met my number. I just bought 6 acres in the city or in the suburbs, and I'm going to open up a facility to where I can actually make my own. My goal is to make my own super dogs, my protection dogs, and to help people. And if I have to, service dogs has always been a thing. And then from there, I can accrue enough money to really bring in and save as many shelter dogs as I can, and try to make something out of them. Uh, that would be cool, Lock. I'll let you know when the facility's open. Maybe we can figure something out. He asked, you should train my puppy. Mark Lee asked, hey, I'm trying to find you on the Discord app. I think I just posted the link. If you scroll up in the chat, I sent a link to that Discord app. I'm there. I'm just not typing anything because I'm just talking. So get on that, and then find that blue button to join the chat room. Yeah, Jeremy Newby, thanks for the confirmation. Yeah, family flying and trading. I saw a picture of his family. They look great. I don't have any kids yet, so I'm just stuck with dogs. If I had a kid, I'm Chinese, so I have nothing against child labor and getting my boy or girl to learn how to teach dogs with me. And then I'll throw her or him into the charts and start making money for me. That's what they're good for. Um, Henry Steele's channel. Okay, cool. Thanks, Alex. I will. Henry Steele. But like I said, honestly, I'm really fixed on my own method. I definitely wouldn't mind taking a look at other people's strategy, like Madaz is one of them. I don't like looking at people that are just all talk. Like they'll just say they're in, they're out. I made this much money, and this is how I roll. I don't care to watch those kind of channels. They're entertaining, but they're not teaching you really anything. They'll just keep talking about psychology and how good they are. Lindsay asks if we all make it on training, we probably donate. Oh, thanks, Lindsay. But it's um, having people say that I actually help them is enough for me. I know donations is awesome, but just knowing that I helped is already very rewarding, honestly. And that's kind of the truth when anybody approaches somebody who wanted to be a teacher. And through all these naive students that get an education degree, they think they're going to make a difference, but they're not, because it's the government and the school districts that control what you teach, how you teach, and then you just want to be able to help these kids, but you can't because the system's fucked up. That's something I always wanted to rant about, but you can't when you're a teacher because you'll get fired. Like for instance, if if I had a high schooler that was interested in stocks, or if I taught math, right? So I hope you all don't mind me sharing this story because it's not related. It's just burning time waiting for something to trade. But so I taught geometry and statistics, which is in a lot of ways directly related to trading, and and a lot of them hate math, right? A lot of people think math is just a waste of time because they plan on being something else. So then I'll show them my stocks right on right in the classroom. I'll just show them, hey, look at this. Look at this shape, look at this number. And then of course I'm gonna be cringy and I'd be like, this is how much money I just made because I trade. And then money talks. Money really gets these kids because they want their kicks. They want the stuff they can't afford. So then I kind of get them into math through money. I know that's what I don't preach, but in high school, I don't they can't trade anyway. So I just like the idea of getting them trying to whet their appetite. So then they want to add me on Facebook and be friends, and that is what we all really want as teachers. We want them to be able to confide in you because it's a lot when I taught in uh, a lower socioeconomic high school. We will call them Title One schools in Texas. So that's why they're hungry for money. They're hungry for food. They're hungry for everything in life. And so and a lot of times they're hungry for someone to listen to them, to parent them correctly because not I don't want to say parent them correctly, but their parents aren't home all the time. So sometimes I'll give them a ride home, or sometimes I even took some of them to the shooting range with the parents' permission. But all of these things and adding them on Facebook is all not allowed. It's against the rules. And somehow, yeah, I almost got in trouble for it, but they couldn't fire me because I was one of the best, I would think, I was one of the best teachers they had that taught math, that had the best rapport with the students. I mean, it's very easy for students to hate a teacher when they hate the subject. It's not the teacher, it's the subject. But they couldn't hate me because I actually cared, you know? So that's what's wrong with the school system. But when I'm teaching here, I can just say, go fuck yourself. Right? If you don't really like what I do, just leave. And it really, so this is my outlet when it comes to being able to help other people. Yeah, Jeremy's been so busy trading that yeah, you, can you imagine trying to bring, I mean, I've already tried imagining it, but I tried to make videos on the basics. It's difficult to create a course. So I would almost have to say, go find somebody who's willing to teach the beginning courses. I know Ross Cameron has one. I think I think Jason Bond actually breaks it down really well. But he's into swing trading, so he'll talk about the MACD and the RSI. These are studies that really help you um, show the strength of a stock, but it won't teach you day trading. So what I would do is I suggest Steve Nison's candlestick course that you can actually find on YouTube. He talks about just how to read a candle, and then from there, if you know how to understand what a candle looks like, then then you can kind of figure out what to do with that candle, right? Depending on your strategy. So most people on here right now are on this channel because I kind of proved that um, the counter trends work. And most people tell me, well, counter trending is scalping. Yeah, so is everything else if you don't stay in long enough, right? Yeah, and so Jeremy Newby, yeah, that's what I always suggest. A lot of, I think I cater more to the visual learner. So watching my videos over and over again actually does help trying to understand. And I'm always throwing in little bits here and there. So I mean, if I had to do a course, it will end up being an intermediate course. You can't really teach from the very beginning. And then I have all these family friends saying they're into stocks and they're reading all these books. A lot of the books that I've read that really mean does nothing except help you read better. So there's nothing wrong with reading the books and understanding what RSI and MACD means. But you can always Google that, you know? You'll have a ton of questions. So just go on Google and say, type in MACD and they'll tell you, you know, moving average convergence divergence, RSI, relative strength index, all that stuff. And then you'll see people, there are some people that are so, I mean, if you look at my chart here, all you see is the volume and the candles. I don't like to clutter the entire thing with a whole bunch of Bollinger Bands and studies. I mean, you look under studies, it's with Thinkorswim, and this is why I love and why you could hate trade with it. I don't trade with it because it's too complicated, and the commissions are so high. There's so much shit going on. I mean, I see you can the one thing that happens is when you start off, you'll have so many studies, and some of them overlap each other in a lot of ways. So it's like you're so cluttered. You think that it's almost like a religion. Those New Age religion people that think that, well, I'll be in the good if I know and believe in all the religions in the world. But you can't because they all clash, right? So that's the same way with studies. If you have a ton of studies, you're gonna get confused. So let me look. Just teach your Lockash. Just teach your morning process. What your plan is. I am not somebody you should follow when it comes to the morning process. Because my morning process is try to wake my ass up, and then I spend a whole hour just doing therapy on my back because I had back surgery, um, and then I just trade whenever I feel like it. My strategy, I know a lot of people wake up in the morning, look at the pre-market, read the news. I don't do any of that because that doesn't help me anymore, especially with counter trading. For gap trading, definitely you want to be in the pre-market to see where the highs and lows are, what the news is. Um, for me, I'm looking for everybody to look away from the stock and then look at the stock and say, "Holy crap, what happened to the shape of this stock? It shouldn't be going that way." Then everybody dives in. I'm already looking at it. I'm going the other way, and then I make my money. That's that's my morning. That's basically how I trade. So I don't have a morning process, but you are seeing my plan, and my plan is very straightforward now. I don't like to make things complicated. I spent the very beginning of my trading career being complicated, creating these parameters for trade ideas. So I tell you this much: if trade ideas go out of business, I'll be really sad because then I have to start over. But I have a general idea. I want I want my trades to have a strength, a surging chart, a surging scanner for the very beginning in the morning, which I hardly ever use. But if I see it surge up, it'll end up in one of my charts in one of my windows or my monitors, just to look at it to see if it falls down. Because by the time it catches the surge, you can just jump in, but that really gets my heart pounding. What I'd rather have is just to sit back and wait for it to just fall, and I won't feel so late. So that's why I believe counter trend is the easiest for a beginner. But lately, if you notice in my streams, they haven't been that easy, unless you're scalping, and then you'll always do okay. Somebody says Ross is a scam. That's not. I don't want to bash that guy. Um, Samir says Ross started with 500. Yeah, he did the Sure Trader challenge, where he created a challenge for himself to start with 500 and then make a lot of money. That is, he had a lot of things going for that, other than that, just that. He does have his Speed Trader account, I think, at that time. So whenever the trade is not perfect, but he still wanted to trade, he'll use the Speed Trader. Whenever he sees something surging that's newsworthy in the very beginning, he can make a lot of money with only $500, but it's high risk. So there is a little bit of a gamble. There is a little bit there, um, but he did good. Because if you think about it, if you go pretty heavy, which you have to do with $500 to make a lot of money in the very beginning, to get out of that danger zone, right? Because you can easily lose 500 if you only have 500. So it can be risky. I don't suggest it. But TradeNet has the same thing. They have that $500 challenge where they'll give you an intro program um, to trade and say if you can make $500 in a week, then they'll give you an intro package, a starter package or something like that. But if you looked at my previous videos, I always suggest the student package, which nobody gets because no beginner wants to spend $3,000 on a program. I think the original cost is 5,000, but I'm not affiliated with them anymore. Just because I just stopped hanging out with them. I stopped talking to them. I don't even know if I still have. I don't even know if that my link works. But if you guys are interested, I'll just buy another one. But then that's $3,000 I could have spent on my wife, so she wouldn't be happy about that. TD is free commission now. Locke says TD is right. Really? I need to look into that, Locke. You're telling me that my Thinkorswim right here is free commissions? I mean, level 2 has to cost, right? But that's what I always thought it should be. Because when you're putting in $25,000 minimum, they get to use that $25,000 their own way while supplementing your account. So there really is no reason why we should be paying for commissions. Okay, Locke, I might have to PM you. We'll Facebook about that. What the fuck? For sure I trade for them. So what this chart right here, this Thinkorswim, if I trade with this, it's free? Level 2 is free? Okay. That's that's what's up. But they share your data with the algos, so oh yeah. Well, I mean that's all platforms though, right? Um, they're all gonna know what you're doing, and that's why a lot of times, and that's why I say I don't ever put hard stops. I don't set a stop. I have put a mental stop because I don't want people to see what I'm actually doing. Okay, that's kind of cool. Um, I may actually fund this account then. Um, I only have $50 in it, and I always told everyone I just have this for the studies and whatnot. But I don't know how fast this thing trades though either. So if y'all can chime in on the speed of the trading, it can't be. I mean, how complicated this is, it can't be as fast as light speed. But that's kind of a cool thing. But then again, uh, again, even though it's free, which is nice, I'm gonna have to fund it $25,000 just to day trade. right? So that's there. There's that. There's a cheap car that I could spend rather than fund this account up to 25. Huh. But that is really interesting, guys. Thanks for chiming in on that. Learn something every day. Yeah, Robinhood did start a trend, and that's why a lot of people thought it was going to be a scam. But it does make sense. It makes entire sense. And there was this loudmouth on YouTube talking about how TradeNet was a Ponzi scheme, and it had a lot to do with that as well. That they're using your money, and and it's not like it's a little bit different, right? It's a CFD, I think that's what it's called. But the whole idea is when he said that, my rebuttal would be my rebuttal would be this whole thing is a scam. All these trading platforms is a scam. Funding an account, having to pay for commissions, having to pay for all that just to trade, even when they have your money. That's all kind of dirty right there in itself. So yeah, I show this whenever I trade every now and then. Doc is asking, and you'll see the level 2 tab on the right hand side of your chart. John BD says, started day trading 3 days ago on 400 euros using web-based platform. My broker hands me, and that's where I wonder how I can do better. Web-based is rather sluggish. I see. Well, it's a good start to day trading. Welcome to day trading. I'm not seeing anything going on, even though there's movement in this this right here on Trade ID is just telling me that there is some movement, but I see nothing. Looking at the Discord app right here, Double Dip traded Tesla, which is pretty crazy. That's an expensive one. Let's see. Oh, they're going long on it. Yeah, don't bet against Tesla. That's that's one thing for sure. Watching NIO. Um, NIO is interesting as well. I'm starting to notice that Double Dip has a little bit of a different strategy. But if you trade smaller, you can do whatever you want, and then you can try to figure out where your niche is. We all have we all have our own um, special abilities, and that's another thing I can talk about here. I also noticed that in like arm wrestling, and it's in everything in life. Depending on who you are and how you do things, it really enlightens you in trading. Um, like I said, I'm not a morning person, so obviously gap trades isn't my thing. But if you're good at it, then you have no choice, right? But the chances of you being good at gap trading and not being a morning person is very low. Um, I'm not bad at gap trading or morning trades. I just don't like doing them. So that just ends up you'll find something that really works for you. But honestly, other than the physical attributes, of your lifestyle, it's how you think, how your personality is. I truly believe because trading is human nature or human behavior. So if you trade according to your own behavior, you will trade better. If you're the if you're the kind of person that bets on the underdog, you could be a scalper or a counter trender, like me, kind of. I'm more biased counter trend just because I feel it's a little bit more predictable sometimes. I do like to see breakouts and news trades. Um, I hate to say it, but I made in my career in trading, I made the most money when it came to the Ebola virus. Um, every time somebody died, I made a lot of money because I was uh, I was focused on those news trades. So, I mean, there's money to be made in news trades. I'm not saying that my human nature is to watch people die and enjoy people dying. I'm saying that you can make money if you understand your own behavior and your own personality. So my behavior was always biased towards a short because I personally feel I'm a pessimist by nature and an introvert. So an optimist tends to think like things are going to go long, and a pessimist may be a naturalist at watching things go short. And I tend to think things a pessimistic way, but I will go long if I'm pessimistic about a move that's diving down. See what I mean? So human nature, your own personality really caters to how you trade. So don't trade because somebody shows you you'll make more money one way, because their personality may be biased towards that type of trading. So yeah, and Al, there was someone just recently, Alex said that I helped him out trading, and he found his own niche, and I'm very grateful that if what's working for you isn't mine and you found something else, hell, that's even more of a compliment because you didn't say that my strategy is crap. You just said that I aligned you in trading in general and you found something of your own, you know? Just like Jeremy Newby. We have almost identical trading strategies, but I'm not going to say that I'm the one that taught him how to do it all. We just very honestly, I almost believe that we have identical personalities, and that's why we trade very similar. He has a higher threshold for pain. I know this, he won't admit it, but he does because he sees swing trades. And, he probably, and I don't think he trades small on those swing trades like he may say he does. He's just being modest. I remember when marijuana was legalized and I saw something, and this news was really late. It was right before the close, so something just flew up. And right at that time, marijuana stocks were in the pennies. So I put a ton of shares in there. That was the longest sleepless night ever. And that was the last swing trade I ever did, I think. On purpose, that is. Sometimes I don't get out a trade fast enough and it just gets stuck overnight. I know I can call it in, but I don't. So marijuana was, I don't remember which one it was. I don't think it was MNGA or whatever. But yeah, it spiked. And, your adrenaline's pumping. It was pumping all night and couldn't do anything. And I made money. And that's the fucked up part. You made money, but it wasn't worth it because you feel like crap the very next day. So I got out of that stock the very next morning. I had to wake up early again because I was swing trading. I mean, I was gap trading that damn thing. And then, and then I went to sleep. But, all shooken up. Okay, TPTX just showed on the scanner. How come it didn't? Oh, I have the volume down. I'm hearing myself. I don't want to hear myself. Hold on one second. TPTX. Oh, it doesn't look pretty in the. No, I'm not doing this. This is a breakout. Oh, and look at that. It's retracing back from such a horrible week. So yeah, that's not a good one. So yeah, there you go, guys. This is a good example of a stock that shows up on my counter trend on trade ideas that fit all my parameters, but you don't want to make the parameters so tight that it doesn't show anything, and sometimes some things fall out of the gap. That's why I have some redundancies here. I have the counter 1 and counter 2. The counter 2 is missing a few parameters just to find the ones that fell through the gaps, and counter 1 is more more focused. But even though it's more focused and it fit all the parameters, you know, it's your eye that's most important. Being able to find the trend lines, and here's a trend line right here from here to here. So you could generally say that there is some restriction here, or resistance here, that would want it to come back. But at the same time, look at the volume. It's really bad. And especially look at the spread. Bid at 25, ask at 49. So there's a 24-cent spread, guys. And there's a lot of range. So this one's pretty tricky. I used to trade these because if I see good shape and there was only like 1,000 shares in, and I throw in 5,000 shares, I actually move the market, and then some people move in with me. Not based on streaming, obviously, because I don't stream, and there's a 20-second delay. But you can kind of influence a stock that has very little volume if you put in a lot, and then from there you don't make that much money. But at that time, I thought it was really amusing that I could actually push that stock. And there it goes. It actually went. So trade ideas, I can honestly say that the parameters for this trade idea scanner works. Look at it go. It works, but to know when to enter, to know when to enter and get a large chunk versus getting a scalp. I mean, I could say you can get a scalp on pretty much any of these that it posts, but that's not exactly what you're looking for because there's always some slippage under your entry. You're always looking for like an entry, and very rarely do we ever enter right at the very top or the very bottom of a counter trade. But yeah, I gotta say, guys, I'm talking a lot, and I don't like hearing the sound of my own voice. So I may end it soon if I don't find anything, or I'm just gonna have to end it and then come back later. But yeah, I'll create a poll on YouTube and have y'all comment yes or no if you want me to just leave the stream on for you guys to chat on the side. But of course, I'm encouraging you guys to go on the Discord app because there's more than just me, and they have a lot to contribute. There's some really good people there. Like like right now, Double Dip is talking about JD spiking in volume, and yeah, it is. It's popping up. So there's more than just me on the Discord app, and Jeremy Newby's on there too. So he's always on it. And personally, I'm not. I don't have that kind of patience, especially when I'm talking. And I don't like having a stream just having no sound at all. You just staring at my blank face. So yeah, it's 12:03. I'm gonna. I may. I don't know. I don't know. I'll do some laundry or something. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this volume not nice and loud so the lady on Trade Ideas can tell me when she sees something. And if it works, if it looks good, I'm gonna post it on the Discord app saying that I'm watching it, and then that'll be 20 seconds faster than the live stream. So let me know if you in the future would like to see the stream just stay on so you can test the trade ideas. It'll help you have a general idea if you think trade ideas will be beneficial for you. Even if you're paper trading, you you may find that you'll be more successful paper trading with the trade ideas than without. But then you're paying for your education. You're paying, I think, $100 a month, and then you'll get 15% off. I think using my discount code. You may find out in one. I haven't updated my videos, but somewhere in some video there's going to be a link, an affiliate link, and then a discount code. And if you really want, because I know some of y'all could be college students, um, when I get the commission, just let me know and show me proof that you used my discount code, and I'll give you the money that I made off you. I don't need your money. All right. So take care, guys. I'm just gonna chill around and just wait. I don't have any dogs today. Actually, I do. Oh shit, I do have a dog I'm supposed to see in 3 hours. So yeah. Otherwise,
QCOM.
QCOM. So as usual, I look at the daily. It's going really well. Um, this is a kind of a good area, but the previous high was on the daily was the 92.73, and then next one is 92.39. So right now it's 92.15. On the 15s, looks great. On the 15s looks good. Look at that. Typing, watching QCOM on the Discord app. This is an expensive stock, but it has a nice spread. It has a 2 cent spread, 1 to 2 cent spread. Look at the fives here. Okay, this actually looks okay. Now I just need to figure out where my entry would be if I do trade something like this. Now look at the 5 minute. The pre-market had a spike right here at 92.15, but it could go up here 92.35. The only problem with this, guys, is there a problem? Not really. I just have the volume too far down to see it. 2000, 41.50. I can't see the volume because of that stupid spike over here. Let me just, there. It is climbing. I might short some a little past here. Here's the 2 minute chart. I'm just trying to see if I can get enough conviction to trade this stock based on the trend lines that I see. So the daily looks like that. 5 minute looks great. 1 minute. Yeah, I'm in. Okay. I'm in at 92. Shorting QCOM 92. Okay, so I'm in QCOM at 92 here, and there it drops. It kind of dropped a little too fast. I want it to be steadier. Okay, and meanwhile, always have your SPY there to tell you where the wind is blowing. So I see this right here, up here on my trade ideas, and there's a lot of green stocks going. But right now, I want to see what SPY is showing me. If SPY is red or SPY is green at the very moment, then I'll know if how strong this stock is going, regardless of the volume and what it looks like at that moment. So if the SPY is red and this stays still, or actually goes green, that is not a good sign. So SPY is printing green. And again, if SPY is printing green and this goes a little green, that's okay. Because that's the wind. That's just how the wind works. If it blows the stock a bit, that's fine. It's just how nature works. So tell you right now, since I have a pre-engagement coming up, and I don't have a generalized area of where to stop, except for right here, 92, 92.73, which is ridiculously high. And it hit 92.25 already. I want this one to go down regardless. So if it hits 25 or 92.25, then I'm probably out because I don't want to play that game. So I'll be 25 cents down, then I'll be roughly I'll be down a little over $100. And if I'm down $100, then so be it. It's just down $100. I'm still going to be very green this week. And that's another form of psychology, right? Monday and Tuesdays are really important. Mondays are generally more important than Tuesdays, but I do better on Tuesdays. And then Wednesdays is whatever, it's just hump day. And then those Monday through Wednesdays generally tell me how well I'm going to do on Friday. That's just how I think. So it'd be nice if it goes down to 91.75. Then that would be like a 1-to-1 ratio. But I don't know. This may be a scalp. I like to look at stocks a little bit further away just to see a more solid trend line. And I like how the volume is dead. It's going down. Just let it continue its movement. Whenever I see like volume go up a little bit, then I know there's a little bit more resistance. But as long as the SPY is going down along with this, with low volume, then I'm in the clear. But this area right here, 9180-ish, 9181 or something, that's where it's going to get a little tricky. I like how SPY is going down. Hey George, is pre-market important to you, or don't you look at it? I do look at it. I do look at it, especially if it's a morning trade, because I want to know what's going on in the highs, and the see right here. I actually looked at it right here, and that was like yesterday's pre-market. I looked at this green pop right here. This green pop was like a 92.16, so I consider that as a possible previous high. You know, it's not as strong as candles that are within the day, but pre-market candles are really good to identify like resistance, support and resistance when you're doing a very morning surge, like a power move. Yeah, so pre-markets are important for sure. So this green candle was the wind, was the SPY. SPY went up with a nice green candle, and now it's showing red. So, I mean, it's not looking very promising. I want this stock to move against the wind. That's when you know there's some real good strength. So green's printing, I mean green. SPY's printing green now, and look at that. Look how dead this volume is. This is great. I like how it just died off like this. I don't want any resistance. I just want the algorithms to kick in and say, we need to reset this stock. It's a little too high. That's what I want the computers to think. It's a little high right now. Let's just bring it down. I don't want people jumping in and saying, hey, wait a minute. Let's hit 92 and a quarter. Because we were so close to 92 and a quarter. Let's go just touch that, you know? Happens all the time. And then, of course, this right here, 91. Oh, wait, what's that? What's the high of this one? 92.73. So I'm breaking even right now because it's going against me a little bit. There's a little bit of pop in volume here, but it's also SPY. SPY is going up a little bit. So you see these two green candles here, right? If I show you SPY, there are two green candles. So it's not, I want it to go against the SPY. We'll just see what happens. But like I said, if it goes to 92.25, then I'm out. Then I'll be down 25 cents. Which is, according to the amount of shares that I have, around the 500-ish, it's going to be about $100. Which is nothing in comparison to what I made the past 2 days. So let's see what that looks like right now on the 15s. Is it printing its very first red candle in a while? I don't want one of these. This crappy thing right here. It almost looks like a doji. I want it to come down. So yeah, 91.75, 91.77 would be a nice stopping point right here in the 15s. So let's just add some conviction here. Let's look at a VWAP. But that doesn't really help, does it? All I know is that it passed the band of the VWAP, and that's would have been a great entry point. That's where it pretty much was, and now it's inside. So it's kind of and trending is channeling this, but it would be nice if it came back to 90, 98. So I don't think that's possible though. So the other part is when you're in the green, when you're right, you don't want to be wrong and just stay in the stock and get greedy, right? Mm, but it depends on your own pain threshold. And like I said many times before, and I have a blood pressure monitor 20 feet away from me. I don't even have high blood pressure. I just need to know. Sometimes I need to put myself in check. When you guys are in trading, a lot of times, regardless of how you feel and how initiated you are, including myself, this is war. You know, no, it's like when you lose $100, you might as well just have given it to a stranger, because that's what happened. So unless you're really comfortable going to some random person, just just think of the worst person you could think of and just give them $100. Don't tell me you're that altruistic, okay? It's not a homeless person. It's a rich person you're about to give $100 to. They don't deserve it. So that's what I mean by war. It really could get into your mindset that you just effed up. You had $100 and you were too greedy and you just gave it away. So I'm just saying that regardless of how you manage that war, you're it's always going to get to you unless you're a little bit crazy. Like I can easily just pop a Xanax and I'll probably feel a little bit better. Right now, I I, I have a pretty high. All traders have a very high pain threshold. Now it's a matter of that pain threshold managed correctly. So all I'm saying is don't be a cowboy and assume that you're gonna let's just go all in and let's go for big money. And worst case scenario is that you learn that if you go all in and be a cowboy, you actually can make money. Then you're gonna that's when you fail boat and you blow up your account. Okay, it's going okay now. This is nice because SPY is green and this is printing red. That is what I was looking for. And there is a little bit of resistance there. You see that candle? I mean, the volume. I like the way Mr. Chanel has just said that trading is a game. That is exactly the best way to take it. Uh, Try to take other people's money at the same time they try to take yours. No free money. That's very true. I like the expression that it's a game because it really takes the heat off. But in the end, it's still money, right? So really have to figure out how to check your mindset. I noticed yesterday in the stream, my wife said I said I traded small. It was a psychological, it was a Freudian thing. I didn't trade small. I actually traded very large. I meant to say the other thing, and for some reason, it came out opposite. Basically, I was trying to psych myself out of it. Yeah, I need to be careful when I say that. Okay, hit the 75 mark. So now let's reassess this before I get out. Daily 15. It's a really good place to stop. There's going to be resistance here. Look at the SPY. See how much time I have left. If SPY is printing red, then I'm in no hurry. But you know what? I'm just gonna get out of right here. Okay, I'm out. At 91.78. Now QCOM at 91.78. Okay, so and then it goes without you, and now it's hurting your feelings. That's when you gotta hurry up and just like do yourself a favor and just change the chart and never look back. Maybe like tomorrow or something. So, all right, guys. So that was just an easy $100 ish, and yeah, if I see something else, I'll jump back on. Again, I'm gonna post a poll to see if you guys just want me to keep this stream on, and I'll just mute the mic and then come back whenever. But I don't know. I don't find it beneficial. I personally don't find it beneficial for the stream. But if you do actually use this trade ideas without me, which I highly suggest you do, because like I said, we're all different, and there's there's gappers, there's earnings, there's a small cap, two counter trends, a pullback for continuation. I don't remember what this one is, and there's a surging. So it's still useful for a lot of you guys. I don't mind waking up 30 minutes before the market opens just to stream this trade ideas and then just come on later. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. And it was a pleasure talking to you guys, or talking to myself and watching you guys, and give me all these feedback so I know what I can expect or what to do in the near future. All right, take care. Bye.